Since we all have an agreement and we all understand, this has been, out of many, one boss man. Yeah, so I guess that's, yeah. I think that speaks for itself, right? So maybe I will address that elephant in the room. Like, why did I start off my episode like that? I think it's because I wanted to remind myself where the idea came from. Like, why did I come up with Out of Many One Boss Man? Like, what was the purpose of it? And I guess I wanted to do something that other people did. You know, I mean, you see them. The Kawhi Ravens, big up himself. You know, RJ, the comic guy, again, big up himself. You know, Caleb City, all of these people, you know, people that have conversations with their multiple versions of themselves. You know, you have Fly High Chris, all kind of people, right? There's a whole bunch of content creators that do something like that. And mine is similar, but it's still different, right? Still different. Because the difference between theirs and mine is that they might represent like different anime characters, different comic book characters. Whereas each of mine, each of them represent a different page. So for example, this represents Bossman Digital Media. Then of course, if you see Black Bucket Hat, Black Tie, that's Bossman Teaching. Then when you see the, well, I can't show it now because it's buried. But you know what? Let me show you. Now when you see this as part of the Admiral Fit, then of course this is Bossman Cinema, right? So just, you know, just as an example, it looks a little bit something like this, right? So if, now mind you, I can't be, now this is like a fusion dance. This is a fusion dance between Bossman Digital Media and Bossman Cinema. So Bossman Digital Cinema. You know. Anyway, you get the point, right? This is like, so whatever, you know, sorry, I was about to say short sleeve. Whatever long sleeve shirt I decide to wear, that needs to be here, and of course this comes over it, and so it does enough to look separate from Bossman Teaching and Bossman Digital Media. Oh God, did you even hear what I just said? Because I feel like my enunciation suffered a while ago. Oh my God. Anyway, the point I'm making is, yeah, this is what Bossman Cinema is supposed to look like, without the black, without the red and black, if you understand. Yeah, so I can't remember, like, where was I, what was I saying, right? So yeah. Oh, and Bossman Champloo, well, obviously no. See, Bossman Champloo is the Raphael. Kind of ironic, yeah, because you know, Bossman Digital Media is supposed to be the Donatello, so it's supposed to be more red and blue, but you know, never mind, we can figure that out. Anyway, so Bossman Champloo is short sleeved. So we're all slightly, what's the word now? Office wear, right? So Bossman Teaching is office wear with black. I am office wear, red. Then of course you saw the Admiral Fit, so the tie would probably be white and blue with the black bucket hat. So that way it's a little bit different from Bossman Teaching. And then Bossman Champloo now would be short sleeve, right? You know what? Let's just do it. So since we all have an agreement and we all understand, this has been Out of Many One Bossman Champloo, yeah, short sleeve edition. Yeah. So that's the idea, right? The idea is that I compartmentalize, right? So therefore, whenever I'm switching between the different personalities, we're supposed to know. You get the visual cue. So once you see the short sleeve, you know it's Champloo, right? Short sleeve Champloo, Admiral Fit Cinema, the red and black or red and blue Bossman Digital Media, and then, you know, black bucket hat with the black tie, longer sleeve, that is teaching. So yeah, I think the reason why I did it from my personal memory. I need a way to lock in, so that way I'm not here saying, yeah, you know, the other day I was doing a mathematics lesson. Nah, this is me being out of character now. Now the mathematics lesson goes to, you know, to Bossman Teaching. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. you know, so that way we don't break the immersion. You understand? Can't break character like that. So over here I'm supposed to be like battle rap mixed with MMA, you know, hip hop, that kind of thing. So that's what Bossman Champloo represents, right? Whereas Bossman Cinema now will go into the world of the anime, the comics, and all of that, and you know, yeah. So the you know, the King Lions and the RJ the comic guys and the Honcho and all of these people, like, you know, that kind of territory. Yeah, so that's the idea behind that. And then of course you're on this page, and this page is where we will go back to listening to this guy, back to this guy. Yeah, so the attitude has to be die when you die, because discipline is everything when you do it every time. But speaking of that, even before that, thanks for helping me to stay consistent, and as I always tell you, honor your commitments. And that's what this is. This is a commitment to being, you know, in uniform, right? Just having respect for what each personality is supposed to look like. But then again, I gave you what? I gave you a little bit of what cinema looks like, a little bit of what Champloo looks like, and this here. Well, obviously, you know, that's interesting. Huh. You ever heard of, you know, like a function and the inverse of a function? I think Bossman Digital Media and Bossman Teaching might be that. I'm going to show you why. Watch. Well, since we all have an agreement and we all understand, this has been out of many one Bossman. I think I get the joke now. I get the joke now. I get it. Inverse function. Well, I'm the f of x, and of course, you know, Bossman Digital Media would be the f of x prime. You know, with that little apostrophe. No, it's f. No, it's f of x raised to the minus 1, because the prime is when it's composite and all of these things. Yeah, that's just alright. Anyway, ignore that. You understand the point though, right? Inverse function. This is fun, right? So this is what Bossman Teaching is supposed to look like, right? Black bucket hat, black tie, yeah, mostly red, little bit of black, and then we switch back. Mostly black with a little bit of red. The inverse function. So, you know, is f of x and f of x raised to the minus 1. Okay. So anyway, hope you had fun with that one. Again, the attitude has to be die when you die, because discipline is everything when you do it every time.